there, I'm Gazbot, and this is day 87 of 100 Days of Making Comics. On today's show, we'll be bringing materials to the San Jose Toy Show at the fairgrounds, but we'll also be looking at prints I got from Cat Print. We'll also be doing 30 minutes on the Horror A4, and more! Stay tuned, but for now, cue the music! So here we are, day 86, and it's not that late, it's in the early to late afternoon. Despite being out last night for Rogue Friday, I had got up at a reasonable hour, and I've been hammering away at business type work and emails and all that kind of stuff, not actual drawing, but business, the business of art. And I'm also preparing, because this weekend I have the San Jose Toy Show, which I did once before, and I did, okay. I'd like to do a little better, but regardless, I'm going. It's a 2-day event this time, and it wasn't double the price, so if I do as good as I did last time each day, I'll do better. But one of the things I did, as I talked about in the past, I'm trying Cat Print. Normally I print things myself, and I go through a whole thing locally, but I decided to use the internet provider Cat Print, which I've heard good things about. So I ordered some for the first time, and this is what I find. It comes in a box as opposed to an envelope. I used to use iPrint from home, which came in an envelope. Didn't like it as much. It was fine, but the reason I stopped using them, aside from the fact that I found it to be cheaper near my house, and it was more immediate because you have to wait for it to be shipped, was they only had either photographic paper or really high-end Gisele, and I'm probably mispronouncing that paper. They didn't have just normal cardstock, which is what I've been using for the most part, because that seems to be the good mix between the quality and price, that like people would rather pay a less price and get a decent quality than pay a huge amount of money for that really nice paper or, whatever. So I got them. I got 2 different sizes. They come shrink wrapped, and they have these biodegradable styrofoam things. At first I was bummed out because I like the styrofoam is such a waste, and plus it gets all over, but it's like a totally green recycling thing. These are biodegradable, they're edible, it says, so I can eat them. I don't think I'm going to, but I don't know. It's sort of like a popcorny texture. They remind me of these little noodles you get at certain Asian restaurants. But anyway, it says you can throw it away, reuse them, whatever, or just wash them down the drain because they dissolve in water. So that's pretty awesome. So right off the bat, it gets a plus for having a box because it keeps the prints theoretically nicer, but more importantly, I could reuse the box, which they also suggest, and I will because I send out comics and things like that. And it has these biodegradable. So this first packaging goes great. Now, when I looked at these, this is the first time I've got this size. This is for my Aqua Ranger. This is a new print. This is a 9x6 size, which is new for me. And let's open them up. Here they are. The quality is good of the paper. It is about what I expected. Honestly, I thought maybe it'd be a little bit thicker, but it's not bad. It's 100 pounds, and there's a secondary measurement to paper that I'm forgetting at this moment, like pounds per square inch or grams per meter or something like that. But it's 100-pound paper. You could, if you listen, it's thick, and it has a border. They all have borders, which normally when I do smaller prints, I don't have a border. I print it larger and cut it. But again, I'm trying to avoid that. And I could have got it printed to the edge, but it would have cost a little bit more. I think it would have cost more, but also it would have been more work for me to set up. So I was like, you know what? A border's fine. Most people put them in frames anyway. So overall, I'm happy with this, but it is a little bit darker than I thought it would be. It's a little bit darker than on the screen, which happens from time to time. So I didn't think too much about it until I looked at this order. Now this, let me pull up this shrink wrap. This is a Bebop print from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that I do. I've done for a while. It's one of my better sellers. Wow, this shrink wrap is hard to get off. Probably I should use a knife or something. Hold on. Okay, I used a pen. Shouldn't have used a pen because whatever, but so similarly, the quality is pretty good. I wouldn't mind if it was a little thicker, but I'm not like embarrassed to sell these. But the color, see on this one I said it was dark, and that might not be correct. It is darker because of the dark red. Here it looks lighter, but I think what the real thing is it's less vibrant. And I think I know why. I'm not 100%. And again, I could sell these. They're not garbage or anything. I'm going to bring them to the show. But I'm a little disappointed because everything else was going well, and I'm looking to make Cat Print possibly be my primary print provider. And I'm looking through my my portfolio here to find the original Bebop I did so I could show you the difference. Well, this is an example of how memory and the brain are not reliable, because this is the new print. This is the old print. And in my mind, I'm going to turn on a light. New print, old print. And in my mind, the new print was darker or less vibrant. But looking at it, especially in the Mohawk, the purple, this one, the left, or my left, your right, is more vibrant, is brighter, and this is the new print, whereas this is the old one. And overall, this one is more vibrant, whereas I thought the exact opposite would be true. Now, memory is unreliable, but I think this was a secondary print. This wasn't how I normally get them printed. I think I did have one that was more vibrant than this, but clearly, if I was selling these and it was fine, then these will be fine. This also demonstrates, you could see the border. It's hard to see because it's white. Actually, I'll get close. See, this one was borderless. This one has a border, which for some reason was a big deal to me, but I think this is fine. The border is fine. And, you know, if people put it in frame, you won't see it, and if they don't, then it's totally fine. So that actually is less of a concern than I thought. One thing I might try, normally when I print, CMYK is what is like the recommended format, but a lot of local printers I go to want RGB, or at least allow RGB, and that's how I work, you know, when I'm creating it digitally, so I prefer to print that way. But some people don't want you to, and I don't understand the logistics of it, but sometimes you can, you know. And I think RGB usually comes out a bit brighter. It doesn't come out as bright as the screen, but more than the CMYK color scheme. So I might, well, I will order from these guys again, because it was good enough that I'll give them another shot. And I might ask if I can send a RGB, and maybe just as a test, get one in CMYK, one in RGB, and see if there's a difference that is appreciable. But overall, I'm giving it, you know, a tentative thumbs up. It's not perfect. There are things I need to address, but they shipped it exactly when they said they would. They said I'd get it today. I did. I also got it before 12 today because I, you know, paid for the express shipping, and it was super express. Because I've done that before and then got it like 9 o'clock at night, which is still technically correct, but you know, this is better. Here's the other thing I did, which I've never done before. On the back of the new prints, with the exception of the Aka Ranger, I put my contact info. I have my YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Etsy. I don't have my email and my phone number. What I used to do is give out my personal business card to everybody. Like, it was on the table, I'd give it to kids, whatever, throw it in the bag when I remembered. Recently, and I don't have a problem with that. It's not like it caused me a problem, but I'm like, not everyone needs my email and my personal phone number, especially if they just want to follow my art or maybe get a print, you know, from my Etsy store. Why do they need my email? And so what I started doing was making cards for my comic, The Horror, and just having my social media links on it. And that's better also because it advertises the horror. So I throw that in with the prints. If somebody buys a Bebop, they get a horror card. But sometimes I forget, sometimes I don't have them, whatever. And I had, for a long time, and for a while, I did a few stickers on the back, but that was costly and labor intensive to put a sticker on the back of every print. And I was thinking about getting some kind of stamp that just had my info on it. And when I saw that they had an option to do black and white on the back, and it was only a few cents more, like less than a quarter. I forget the exact amount. I want to say for like, whatever. It was cheap. It was very cheap to get my info on the back. And so now all these prints have my social media info on them. I don't need to give a business card unless somebody asks for it, like they want to hire me for a specific job or whatever. And yeah, I don't have to remember, and it's there. And they have it forever. They're not going to lose it. You could lose a business card. As long as they have this piece of art, oh, this must be the person who did it. So going forward, I'm going to try to do that on all my prints. And it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. I don't know, it took so long to do it. But that's sort of my mini cat print review. Overall, thumbs up. Not a, oh my god, thumbs up, but like, yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Good customer. Oh, and I got a survey, like an email, minutes after it came to the door, because it came to the door and I'm like, oh, there it is. And then I was checking my email, and like 5 minutes later, like, we just got notified that it was delivered. Let us know what you think, you know. So I was like, wow, they're really on top of this. So in terms of the customer service, ease of use of the website, that was all fine. The shipping quality, the shipping speed, that was all fine. The print quality is pretty good. I'm gonna see about adjusting the color, but that's not really a mistake. I guess I am giving it a good thumbs up. I keep saying it qualified, but the color, that might just be something I need to adjust. And yeah, so good job, Cat Print. Let's see how they sell this weekend. Whoa, 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 whoa. I was just stepping out the door. I had all my boxes ready. I was gonna go get my handcart from the closet outside and stuff, and I saw this gigantic thing. Whoa, what is it? It's my standee. It wasn't supposed to be here until tomorrow, so this means I could use it for the show, theoretically. I'm a little nervous because this is supposed to be a collapsible, fold-upable standee, and that's a giant box. So maybe it only folds in half. I thought it maybe folded in fourths, but let's check it out. All right, there was a lot of tape, which I've just cut off. And now, oh, look at him. Look at him peeking out. That looks like a, wait a minute, what? Oh, I don't have to cut that, right? Hold on. Okay, good news. There's a lot of extra cardboard on top to pack him in, and I can feel that it's cut. So I guess I just have to punch it out, which is also good news because that means it is going to be smaller than this big, gigantic thing. The whole thing is covered in this sticky shrink wrap, so I'm going to have to peel this off. I'll do that, and then I'll unfold him and see his greatness! Alright, I have it out. It's funny because this is Wet Paint Printing and Design, but that's not the name of the company I ordered it from. I guess it's like subcontracted or whatever. Now what's interesting is I had made a border because I wasn't sure if they could cut to the edge of the color. So I made like a white border, black border, and they were like, oh, we need to add this in because we can't cut perfectly. But looking at it, it's cut in the color, which I prefer, but I didn't think they were going to be able to do that. Also, this is interesting. Coupons, but they're in the middle of this like plastic. It'd be so hard to use. Anyway, I'm going to punch it out and then we'll see where we're at. Oh my gosh, you guys, I was saying how I thought it was only folded in half. It's folded in thirds. It's just so gigantic. I don't even think you're getting the scale of it. That's the doorway. That's taller than me. Look at the cat. Look at that. They're like trying to get into the city. They're like Wile E. Coyote. It's taller than a person, which is what I wanted. So, wow. Wow. My concern now starts to become transporting this to and from shows. Could be more difficult than I thought, but that's a good problem to have. Okay, so I punched off all the outer, like, trim, whatever we're going to call it. And they got better detail than I thought they would. It's funny, though, it's a little inconsistent. And I don't know if they hand cut this or do a machine, but some of these, like on the curves, they're not perfect, but I'm not complaining, it's fine. But then, the one bad part was right here, there's like a plastic film on this side, and a plastic film on this side with sort of a plastic core in the middle. And it wasn't quite cut all the way through here. I don't know if you can see. It's a little bit ragged. I actually had to cut it with a scissor to make it like go, and I was a little nervous. So that's a little imperfect, but other than that, it popped off pretty easy. Some of the detail they got is great. Look how they cut around this building. That's super intricate. I didn't think they'd get that. So there he is all cut out. I'm going to turn vertical, which isn't good, I know, but just to see him better. I also switched the lighting so you could see him a little bit better as well. I still need to put on the backing. He isn't as washed out as he seems. It's the way the light's hitting it. Although, yeah, you know what? He could be a little bit more vibrant, but what are you going to do? I need to put the backing easel thing there on him, because right now he's just leaning. But it comes with stickers, and because I want to keep taking it on and off, I'm going to have to use Velcro so it could reattach easily, which I'm pretty sure I have somewhere in the house, and I'm going to go search for now. So I'm just going to use the regular tape and worry about Velcro later. This is the piece I need to attach, and what's cool is they actually put little pen marks where it needs to go so I can line it up perfectly. It has these attachments that fold in to keep it in place. But this one, once again, is not cut down, so that's two things that weren't cut, unfortunately, so I'll have to get an X-Acto or scissor to fix that. Damn, that's sexy. That looks real good. Once again, loving this new hand truck. It's a bummer it doesn't fold up, but I easily do one trip. If it wasn't for the standee, I wouldn't even have had to come back to the car. Turns out we were set up the opposite side, which isn't so bad for me. I just put the horror on the other side, but these guys had a whole store thing built up, so they gotta redo everything, which I feel bad about. It's a little cramped, especially with the standee, and I'm splitting the table. As you can see, got the standee, and then this is my grid set, which is smaller, but all this, more or less, is gonna be for my buddy. But I'm looking at how other people are setting up. These two gentlemen, for example, they bought 2 tables worth of space, but by putting the tables on the side, pushing it back, they built a huge store. I thought it was 3 tables worth. And the people behind us here, you can see the first thing they did was push the table in, and they're making these U-shaped stores. I don't know if I could do anything with that right now, but it's something I'm definitely gonna keep in mind. It's after 5, and as usual, setup is taking longer than I thought. You can see where we're at so far. We sort of segmented it so he's got his toys there, and he's gonna have this area. Luckily, the people next to me have this, and they said I could use it. See, otherwise I wouldn't have that, but it makes me think maybe I should get that, because I kind of like this little artist cove I've created, where I got the horror behind me, some prints, and then this stuff in front of me, which I'm still obviously organizing. I've also condensed all my prints down to 1 book, which has the unfortunate side effect of these little ones being in the big pages, but it saves me a ton of room. So I have it set up, and as I said before, this, oh, that popped off, but I'll fix that tomorrow. This actually is really awesome that I'm able to use that. Put a few on the side of the toy thing, and this is sort of my condensed setup, but I'm also trying to highlight the comic more, and sketch comics, and comic, and horror, and comic, right? Very right. So we're all set up. We went through a quick walkthrough. Didn't see a ton I wanted. The few things I saw that I wanted, the vendors are not here, so now I have to remember tomorrow morning to check in with them. One thing I saw Q had some interest in, so now I'm waiting on her to tell me if she wants me to try to buy it before I leave. And considering it's going on 6 or 6:30 or whatever, probably gonna be picking up Taco Bell again for dinner. Taco Bell for dinner. The dinner of tacos, I don't know. On my way out, I threw something away here, but first I went over to this can, which is full of wood chips. Why? On the road again, just can't wait. You and me, buddy. Take it on the road again, pal. Lassie. just after 9:30, I got back from getting the show set up, obviously, and I picked up Taco Bell. I ate that Taco Bell. And then Q and I watched a movie, and I just got done responding to all the social media that I have missed throughout the day because I was gone. Yeah, I've been now procrastinating getting to work on the horror, but I'm going to do it in a minute. That's the noise that means I'm done working on the Horror A4. I did at least an hour. Usually I say at least 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Now it's at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I didn't really keep track. I got past 30 minutes, kept going. And I did the thing where I just wanted to finish the panel, which I did. So here we go. And there it is, panel 2. 1, 2, and 3. And two things I did. This is like a little bit artsy, and I kind of decided to do it after I saw this one. It wasn't an original intention. But the horizon line starts high, and then it goes really low. And she's full figure, and then just her face. So on this one, I put the horizon line right in the middle and kind of made her in the middle of these two. Not exactly middle, but so that the horizon line basically goes down, and we get closer to her. Yeah, I know, whatever, but the fact that I didn't really plan it makes me feel better about it. And then I kind of temped in some sound effects here and here. There was something I'm forgetting. I don't know what it is. Oh! I was talking about how these buildings and these buildings don't really match, and that this would be sort of the junction between them. And I kind of did that a little bit with this building. I'm imagining that being the bottom part of one of these. But I think when I go back, I'm not going to mess with it now, but when I go back in and do the inks, I'm going to adjust these buildings to look more like these, because these are supposed to be like a rundown, crummy neighborhood, and these buildings do not match that at all. So I'll probably superficially change them. I'll keep the basic structure, you know, the layout, and just make them match a little bit better. So it's about 11:15. I'm done with that for the night. I gotta go finish up some laundry I put in the dryer, edit this video, etc. And tomorrow I have to be up. I have to be ready to go 6:45. So I will probably get up at 6:30. But that still means that if I go to if I pretty much go to bed right now, which would ideally get me to sleep by 11:30. That's 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30. So if I go to bed right now, I will get 7 hours sleep. But I'm not going to bed right now. So I wonder how much sleep I'll get. We'll find out together tomorrow morning. But for now, I'm going to call it quits as far as the video goes. I'm calling quits for today. Today is what? 8/6. No, we're not adding them together. That would be 14. But that's, and it's not day 8/6 either. It's day 8/6 plus 1. It's day 8/7. See, I corrected midstream there. So anyway, today's day 87. 8/7/87. And if today is day 87, well then, you know what that means?
Hey, we've got 13 days left. 13! Tell the world. Tell them all.
Be setting up for the San Jose Matt.
Hey,
Oh,